Hey VOD watchers. Just just waiting to get a few more people. That is all. Whew, man. This is a fun stream, isn't it? Oh. Alright. No problem. Thanks for lurking, though. Alrighty. Excellent work, Ryo. That's not his name at all. Ryonosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there, you were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees locking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. Sometimes I read bad. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I can't get through this, I don't ever want to I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Ha. Anyway, it looks like we exposed your phantom lady at last, excuse me. Miss Giselle Brett. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Giselle? I mean, I'm gonna be calling her Brett anyway, so it doesn't matter. A student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There's not a period right there, and it's bothering me. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overconfident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Quaid, you're telling me you don't laugh like that? Come on, man. Everyone laughs like that. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. Yeah, see? Rengoku laughs like that. Before he died. Anyway. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. Lying on the floor. And I just... Sorry, that's not what the text said. And just after I bent down and picked it up... Yeah. I didn't even have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet. And he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. I'm struggling to read. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotaba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. No, it's not. You'll definitely see Omni, man. I promise you that. Our modern society is still in infancy. In its infancy. Our justice system, even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I'm not even redoing all of that. I fumbled hard. I want to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise. If I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life. I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it comes down to you, young man. Stop staring at me. To me? Yes. You need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. Thank you, Quaid. I saw that message. I just wanted to not ruin the flow. But I did it anyway. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know. I didn't know that before. I feel like the stuttering is kind of making them more human anyway. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain. My voice cracked. And a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget But yeah, that's it. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau, okay, went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. Quash? I know squash. But I've no doubt I've no doubt that that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. I almost turned into Trunks. That was weird. It's funny because like the voice actor for Phoenix Wright in the anime is Eric Vale, the voice actor of Trunks in English, and this is the ancestor of Phoenix Wright that I'm playing as, which is Ryunosuke Naru, whatever. Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. I don't know what this voice is. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Damn, she fucking disappeared. She's an X-Men character. Defendant Naruhodo. Naruhodo. I can't say Japanese names anymore. It's crazy. Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside to the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what hit them. Ah. You need to be stopped! Kazuma. What? What? We have to get in there. Thank you. Really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on this dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. If you hear wind, that's the fan. I'm sorry. I'm hot, and it's hot. All right then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. Nod. You could treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. That's you know what? I'm not even gonna judge. We literally have a street called School Street. Whatever. With an extra large portion, of course. Oh, sorry. That's not how you laugh. Ha 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 ha. This has to be the loudest text I've ever heard, by the way. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecution, that's not what it says. Prosecutor Auchi, have you managed to... Alright. Just a second. Managed to slip one of the witness. Yeah, I definitely knew how to say that. I didn't just go on Google. Yes, Your Excellency. Against all odds. What is his voice? And thanks to a certain young stripling, Stripling? Whatever. The prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial? Anxiety over some foreign country's government? What did I say? Foreign government opinions? A bungled investigation? Missing witnesses? Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up! Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. I'm slowly turning to Skeletor. Is he my spirit animal? By aligning ourselves with a great world power, we become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political... sorry. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here, now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Ugh. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Consul. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Your Excellency! I feel like this voice was different from last night. There should be a VOD, so you'll see. Not doing female voices. I can't. Not doing it. I'll do a high-pitched voice, and I'm not doing an English accent. Alright. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. I make him sound psychopathic. Tea! Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? Is that true? No idea. So, yeah. That head shake. Can we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru... Satoru? No. Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at the locker... Yes, we know all about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. That's not his voice. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but your powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Hey, yo, she's speaking in cursive. Context. Everyone here is speaking Japanese. Terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What? What? The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in Yume University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delicate language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. The French's name, remember? Yeah, I know. They were just... Remember, this is from Japan, so they were just trying to choose a fancy name, and I guess they associate England with fancy in general. You know, yes, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. That's not the voice. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. I mean, English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? That's not how that inflection should go. Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. That's how I said it for some reason. 3 days ago at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there, with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. At the time... Bear Grylls has come out of nowhere. Anyway, is that correct? Hey, yo, that cursive speak, though. Wait a minute. What is he saying? I'm about to throw hands. I might have to get my computer's charger, so... let's see. Let me see how much I like. Maybe about 20 minutes. Yeah. So at 49, at the 49 mark, I'll be right back. See ya. She says, yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak Japanese. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. By the way, he's the chief inspector. He was in disguise of a waiter, as he was trying to say earlier. Interesting, when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? We call it a photo! Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your
resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps?
Cursive. Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Order! Order in the court!
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement.
Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and then get into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
Yes!
No! Okay.
No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Oh my god. Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard, and look at this snow-white angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe.
You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Oh, of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from the lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. So the reason I'm talking like that for Hosonaga is that it's kind of the same voice I would do for the bellboy from the second case in Ace Attorney, and I like to think that he wants to still be in the act of a waiter, the head waiter. So it's a funny thought to me. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. Her skirt! I would think she would. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit, and I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. Yes, yes.
That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. That's a little sus, but we know what you mean.
Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke.
But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day.
You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere.
Shut up, Quaid.
Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we need to pull her testimony apart. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Excellency, Honor, whatever.
Your Majesty. If you've seen Evolution, that's where I got that from. That's not what I wanted to do.
Yes!
It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes. Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No.
Why on earth not?
The Honorable English...
The Honorable English gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need for any further probing into the matter.
Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps?
Think what you will. But if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts.
In other words, he wants evidence. The lady wishes to point out that, of course, she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation. That's not his voice, but it's whatever. But she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. Not get her out of there. I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime, which is why she's only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course.
Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you.
So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out and out totally
unfounded lie.
Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school costume, dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial is over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel already half dead. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. The first thing to do is press her on any of the statements that seem even slightly off to you. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. What I should aim for is to read better. Ah! Let's check.
Yes!
Yes! He was unable to eat, you say. And that was because he just... Yeah, and that was because he just had a tooth removed at excuse me, at Hada Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? Mm-hmm. It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean... And that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left.
Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that was subjected you to this terrible plight.
I'm sorry, I'm not in the right rhythm. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes. The professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? It's very meaningful. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case.
Well, well, how fascinating. To tell us what is this profound bearing?
The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony.
Well sidestepped, counsel. Well sidestepped, counsel.
Okay, that's how you say it. Fuck you, Anthony! I called you by your full government name right there. Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official court, whatever it's called, testimony. Oh my god. Oh my god. Even if it had a script, it would just not go well. Gladly, she said. So many dots.
That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one.
Ooh, which one?
The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase.
I'd hope there are more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. Also, you're a fucking nerd, bitch.
Ha! See, here's a problem with that.
Yes!
What? That's it? Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left.
And that is correct, the lady says.
Yeah, well, that is, it's odd. Very odd. Dear me. What's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Itself.
Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you?
Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true...
Voice crack.
But if that's true... There should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1.
Ah!
You're quite right, Counsel.
That's not his voice.
You're quite right, Counsel.
There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Oh my god. Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over... minutiae?
I think that's how you say it. Oh no, I'm not going to Google.
What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass makes on the case?
Objection!
Oh god.
Minutiae, you say?
Could it be that the director here removed the glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not!
I would never do something so reckless.
Yeah, come on. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you trying to tell me you can clink with only 1?
You're quite white. You're quite white. You're quite white. I can't speak, I'm sorry. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Yo, I need to know why she's speaking in cursive. Alright, be right back. 49-minute mark. I am back.
Inspector, what does she... Inspector,
What did the lady say? Sorry, I was readjusting myself. It's simple, really. Sorry. It would seem that it was Miss Barrett who took the glass from the table.
What?
It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I had been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious! If you heard like flapping noises, that was my dog. She got floppy ears.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say sorry like I'm a Canadian. Sorry.
There, as I assured the court before, this is of no coincidence at all.
Oh, please.
We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray? That's absurd! Well, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. This can't be put down to mischief.
I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag? A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England.
So the beautiful lady was very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already.
Indeed. The lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. This is a deeper significance. If there's a deeper significance there, it's the handbag. Wait, you put the glass in a handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags. Sorry, I'm struggling. For small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. Sorry. I'm struggling. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag. In which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
Why's it gotta be black? It's it's really very simple, or as I like to say, it's simple really. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't be seriously... You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga!
Yes. Did you or did you not search Miss Jezebel... Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? Jezebel? Is that the name I said? No, sir, I did not.
As I thought!
In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. I could have just stopped at bag, honestly, but it's whatever.
No!
Order, order, order.
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Alchi?
Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents of the at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Bro, you good? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search that handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary.
Unnecessary? In what way?
I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag.
Well, I never.
Why did I say it like that?
You can see right through to what's inside.
Judge turns country all of a sudden. Sorry, hold on. Right. That's right. Apparently mesh work bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. I don't know what voice to give the judge. So I'm just gonna give him the generic deep voice that I can do. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. Just fucking dies. Order, order, order. Yeah, that voice is gonna kill my vocal cords. Inspector Hosonaga, will you submit that print as evidence at once? Kinda lied a little bit, that was weird. Certainly, Your Excellency. I think you had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. The court now has... The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photograph Rupin just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance. I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Excuse me. Sorry. Got distracted.
Indeed. And there is only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime.
No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the real trial to continue. Sorry. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. We gotta read that. Oh no, we got it.
I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat, while the strong eat. You're wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew onto your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
Cell? I love that character. Oh, that's not the Cell we're talking about. Hold on a second, y'all. Sorry. Internet's being a little wonky on my computer. I need to mess with it a little bit, I guess. Just gonna do this. And then Everything should be fine now, and... Alright. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Excuse me. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we will be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little... Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all the evidence placed up... Wait! Your Excellency? Ryunosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet. This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That's the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes.
Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, the ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
Attention!
This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag and the gentleman was carrying on the day in question. There could be no problem with the evidence. With this evidence. You'd better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, Counsel. Certainly the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court scrutiny. Excuse me. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. Oh no, that mark on the hand looked mighty suspicious.
Ha! My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But be warned. If I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with imminent effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. Well, for you see.
Yes.
Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Attention!
Hear me. I was pondering what new piffle you would come up with. A burn, you say? On the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he did note it in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? No possible way of knowing either.
The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as prosecution Ouchie points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. You see, Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She'd like to know if she may be excused from the stand now.
Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What you're thinking of this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn, do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over.
So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful.
Yes, you're right.
I am?
Raggy? I actually felt that on the floor, by the way, when he slammed his fist. Anyway, if we could just link that burn to the case. If we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Sorry. I might have said pry. I don't know.
Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it. I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Whew. Yeah. Sorry, this heat is getting to me. Really?
I have to find some link between that burn and the case.
This is the moment of truth.
It's time to find some evidence that proves that what that burn really means.
So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. An evidence that demonstrates an whatever, you know. Anyway. It's shaped like this bowl. There's a lot of bullshit that's happening right now. What's this, Counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore.
Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say?
To inconvenience this poor lady any further would be
Quite inexcusable.
actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer, if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this photograph. Sorry, I was just checking the thing. Yeah. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Attention!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean.
Like I said, it's shaped like that bull. Or a little bullshit. Oh, excuse me.
The beef steak?
Actually, the point is the metal plate. This the steak was served on. The plate?
Are you... Your Excellency, are you alright?
As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. Oh, I guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. By the way, chat, you may help out if you want, if I'm ever stuck. Like, help me, help point out something, or even give me a hint if you saw something that I didn't. You know, you know, it makes it more fun being interactive and all that. So yeah, just let you know. This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn
Are exactly the same shape!
Ryunosuke, you genius! Sorry, that would itch. It's bothering me. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Attention!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time.
Well,
Objection!
sadly, Professor... wow, that was a terrible thing. Sadly, Professor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine. I can't imagine having missed such a terrible display. Certainly.
But
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. Excuse me. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable. Sorry, I got really close to the mic. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've never heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of the La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
Oh, excuse me. God damn.
There you have it. Something isn't right here.
As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. Getting up again, sir. There's no question of that. Heard the professor scream. Not that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, counsel. And then the rest of the restaurant, the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without a question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Professor Ouchie?
Well, yes, I suppose.
Damn, I didn't know he was, Betty from, what was it, ReZero.
I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think... Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe... we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of that makes sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting... Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead.
Already.
Dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's impossible. Madness.
Alright, sorry. Order! Order! Order, please! Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once! The victim was killed by a gunshot!
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection!
No, Prosecutor Algie, it's you has no grasp of the facts.
I beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent that the client had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case has turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Whoops.
Yep.
Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But Your Excellency.
Excuse me. The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps the relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I'm studying in your country after all. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. but it would seem the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So, I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English woman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. I see. In that case, Miss Barrett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words. Sorry. Dozed off for a second. No, I definitely didn't. I just read it in my head. So we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. What time? Okay. Unfortunately, I have no idea what when the poor man burned his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, I'm sorry. All right. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna start the stream up once again later today, but we're gonna continue where we left off. I'm getting tired. I'm gonna take a nap. After my nap, I'm gonna continue the stream, y'all. But yeah. Uh-oh. So, and with that, I'll do my own cliffhanger. And with that, I bid you adieu. You know, until I come back.